Your family is the source of a lot of your material,
Yes.
and your wife in particular. And I did wonder, does she have to vet the jokes that you tell about her? Like if you're coming up with a joke based on something she's done that annoys you, say, or that you found strange, do you then go to her and say like, "Hey, I'm working on this joke. Are you okay with that?"
Yeah, I'll tell her. Yes. I mean, there's a couple times I'll go try it first to make sure I even want to. Like because if it's not going to work, then maybe there is no reason for me to bring it up to her.
I know, but then if it works,
So,
you're even in more of a bind.
but if it works, then I go and I can figure out how to say it. And I always try to make fun of myself too in it. When I first started, I would do jokes about my wife, and I could tell that the audience, if they don't know you and if you don't show love, then they're not going to go with you. So if you show that aspect of it, then you can get away with quite a bit, With my daughter, I'm very sensitive. I haven't talked to her about her a ton outside when she was a baby because I want her to be her own person. I want her to be able to trust that she can come to me as her father, which is the most important thing, and say stuff to me and not think anything she says I'm going to go tell the whole world. So it's splitting that balance to be like, want to be very protective of that for my wife, for my family, for any of them, to know that, I'm not just using all of them to gather material.
Your dad was a comedian and a clown, and when you were growing up, do you and he have any competitive feelings about comedy?
He did. So he was a clown at the beginning, and then he did magic. He's a magician. I mean, he'll tell me like jokes and stuff and say, well, you didn't say this and say that. So I can talk to him about comedy and all this. But yeah, competitive. I mean, he comes out on the road with me, and he's done 100 and some shows with me in arenas and all this. So I would say competitive. I mean, it's like different. I mean, when he came up, they had 3 kids, and he had a day job, and he did all this stuff. He could have moved to Vegas and when we were younger, and he chose not to. And so we grew up in Nashville, and I think grew up with a very normal, as normal as you can with your dad being a magician. But yeah, I think he's very proud, and he cries when he brings me on stage.
I asked just because, I don't think it's uncommon for when fathers and sons kind of go into the same or related lines of work for that to sometimes be emotionally complicated.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm sure there is like some competitive to us. I mean, there's some when you go travel. Like I love traveling with my dad, and then there's times where you're like, I always joke to be like, it's every little boy's dream to travel with your dad when you're 45 years old. So, got a tour bus with a CPAP machine. You go really living it up.
Your dad grew up, in pretty different circumstances than you grew up in. It's sort of had a hard childhood, and then your daughter is then growing up in different circumstances than you grew up in. She's just I assume a lot more affluent. Do you think about how your daughter understands like how or why her life and her childhood are so different than yours or her grandfather's?
I don't know if she gets it to the extent of that. I think we've done a pretty good job. We moved back to Nashville. We live in a cul-de-sac. We're not around a lot of a big crazy neighborhood where it's just everybody's famous or wealthy or whatever. But yeah, she has stuff. The amount of stuff I wasn't allowed to have versus what she has it's not even remotely close. I wanted Jordan shoes, and but we got some from Dollar General, and they just kind of look like Jordan shoes. So I was they were pretty close, but they were not close enough. I would get all this stuff. The Super Bowl team that lost, I'd be wearing all that stuff.
Right. A lot of Buffalo Bills gear.
Yeah. According to my family, the Bills have won 4 in a row.